Keanu's final farewell, everyone left in utter disbelief. Sure.
All aboard!
Hey! Huh? Oops! What? Wow! Yeah!
Welcome, everybody, to episode 29 of Where Streams Come True. This is the show where we suffer through the entire good and bad of Disney+. I am your host, Collins. Joining me today, returning guests Cameron and Elena.
Hello.
Of the Flamingo movie fame.
Yeah.
I had completely forgotten that we did that.
Yeah, I blocked that on my
For good reason.
It was very forgettable.
It was so forgettable. But this week, we had the great pleasure of watching Hamilton, the 2020 Broadway recording, technically, by director Thomas Kail. The film version of the original Broadway smash hit Hamilton combines the best elements of live theater, film, and streaming in an astounding blend of hip-hop, jazz, R&B, and Broadway. Presenting the tale of American founding father Alexander Hamilton, this revolutionary moment in theater is the story of America then, told by America now. Initial thoughts?
Sorry.
I don't think this is the best of streaming, though.
No.
Like, I mean, it's good, but
There's
I don't
nothing
know about...
specifically streaming about
Yeah.
it.
I'd argue that it's pretty good for streaming, considering it's one of the only... It is the only Broadway... Well, no. One of the best Broadway
It's the only
plays
one on
that
Disney
have been
Plus.
streamed. I mean, film. Like, I'm not talking about even on Disney Plus. I'm just talking about Broadway plays in general that have been filmed
Yeah.
while being performed on stage.
That's true. Or even like, especially like filmed like this.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I know with COVID, they've been doing it a lot where
Yeah.
they have been doing plays. Like, there was a whole week of, I think, the National Theater or something where they were streaming plays live.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Like I've seen the Broadway that one Broadway recording of Les Mis for whatever anniversary it was, but it's
mhm.
all just like a white shot
Yeah.
of the whole
Oh,
thing. But
that's
like this
boring.
has like action shots
Yeah.
and close-ups. So I would, yeah.
Yeah, because usually it is very, like, stagnant. Where
It just- It's just
this
from
was
the
a good
audience.
this was a good movie for me because I am actually a Broadway freak. I watch a lot of Broadway, and I am very poor, so I have to stream the illegal ones.
Oh yes.
So
Everyone had like the same rip of Hamilton up until it came out on Disney Plus.
Yeah. so I thought it was amazing because
I saw that. I made it through the first act on that one. I didn't finish the whole thing until this. But I guess going on with initial thoughts, have you seen this movie before and experienced first viewing and now returning to it? I saw this when it launched on Disney Plus because I never finished it on the torrent, I guess, technically. I think I found myself paying more attention the second time. I feel like I just listened to it a lot the first time I was watching it because
You're playing
I was playing Fallout.
Mhm.
Exactly. But I actually like watched it this time, and there was a lot that I liked. Cameron,
Yes, I've of course seen this before.
on Disney Plus.
Yes, on Disney Plus,
Cool.
the good version. And seeing it a second time was just as good as the first. Where's my phone? Oh, here it is. So yes, enjoyable movie. Movie.
Elena.
oh, I've seen it like a lot. A lot. So it was just as enjoyable as the last time I saw it. So I like it.
Very long.
I think they should do it with all Broadway plays.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I love that.
Yep.
Because like I never go see plays.
Yeah.
Especially Broadway plays.
I have a
It's Broadway.
very, very strong opinion about Broadway plays and their limited capability of viewing because I think it's ridiculous and I think they would actually get a lot more money if they filmed it professionally like they did with Hamilton
Oh, yeah.
because I would still go see it on Broadway if I had the chance. Like Hamilton,
Yeah.
so quick. I would go see that in real life on stage, but they refuse to film them like they do because they're like, oh, it'll make people not want to go. No, it
Yeah.
won't.
Yeah.
It'll
I
just give
agree.
it more access. Broadway has a very, I can't remember the term, but they're kind of elitist.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That was
They're
the word that
very-
came to mind.
Yeah, they're very like
I think that's most of it. It's not
Yeah.
about like accessibility.
Yeah,
It's like
Mhm.
it's so stupid.
when they like replay movies in the theater, like I've got them on DVD, but like when they were playing Raiders of the Lost Ark in IMAX
Yeah.
one time, I was like, of course I'm gonna go see that.
Yeah, because it's a
And it was
different
dope.
experience.
Yeah, and like seeing a play in person is always gonna be different than seeing it on here. I would love to see Hamilton in person. That'd be
Oh my god,
great.
it's
Yeah.
so different.
Yeah.
So it's just stupid. But anyways, I really like the movie.
Yes, I really like the spitty floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's less apparent in the Disney Plus version because it's
Really?
not like in the like the illegal video. It's top down, so you're constantly seeing it,
Oh.
but it sort of
Mm.
like blends into the action more in Disney
Oh,
Plus.
I don't know. I constantly noticed it in this
I
one.
think it's so cool. I think
It is,
I
yeah.
think every Broadway play should have a spinning floor. They do some real cool stuff with it.
They
I think
do.
my moment of the movie is a spinning floor moment. It's so cool.
I think mine is too.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
no, it's not.
Better not
Nope.
be the same as mine.
It's not. It's not. Don't worry about it. That
All right.
keeps
So
flickering,
moment.
and I hope it's not in the recording.
Oh.
it's probably because it's just a kinked cord.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about it. This cushion feels like it's gonna slide off, and it's really annoying. Anyway,
You sing on it like this?
Hmm.
yeah, kind of. Not too long of a recap, which is good because there's a lot to cover. But we will go in to the full recap. Act 1. Which is not as bad as when it was saying that in The Simpsons when it had Act 1, 2, and 3 for every episode. Act 1. The orphan Alexander Hamilton leaves his home on the island of Nevis. The song Alexander Hamilton plays. After arriving in New York in 1776, Hamilton meets Aaron Burr, John Lawrence, Marquis de Lafayette, and Hercules Mulligan. The Aaron Burr song, and impresses them with his rhetorical skills in My Shot. They affirm their revolutionary goals to each other in The Story of Tonight. Meanwhile, wealthy sisters Angelica, Eliza, and Peggy Schuyler go into town seeking out potential suitors in The Schuyler Sisters. Samuel Seabury warns everyone about the dangers of Congress, but Hamilton disagrees and tries to counter Seabury in Farmer Refuted. King George then insists on his authority in You'll Be Back. During the New York and New Jersey campaign, Hamilton accepts a position as George Washington's aide-de-camp in Right-Hand Man instead of field command. It's a lot of songs.
They just skim past like the whole.
Yeah, I mean it's progressing of.
I think there's like 50 songs in it.
There's so many.
Like on the
It's like
soundtrack?
almost completely sung. Everything.
Oh, it is. It
Which I
is
like.
completely song. It's technically an opera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
anything that doesn't
cool.
have speaking is technically an opera. So Les Mis,
Oh, okay.
Hamilton, Hadestown.
Yeah,
Probably
Pirates
don't know
of
what Hadestown
Penzance.
is, but
I've heard
yeah.
of it.
It's amazing.
The same
fine.
people that go crazy over Percy Jackson and Hades go crazy over Hadestown. I don't know if it's
Oh.
because of Greek mythology, or if it's just
It's just the word.
it's just the
Hades.
type of people.
Yeah, maybe because I don't know because I'm really into Hadestown, but I'm not. I know of the Percy Jackson musical, but I'm
Yeah.
not super into it.
There's
Yeah.
a musical.
It's actually better than the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's not a high bar.
Yeah.
No.
Unfortunately.
it's true.
And then they made a second one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was.
I hope we get to cover that because I have so
No.
many thoughts because they failed. With
Well,
the
yeah,
first
they are
movie.
supposed to do a
They're doing
TV
a Disney
show.
Plus show, yeah. But it's just so bizarre that they made this is a tangent, but they made Percy Jackson. It did horribly, and then like 8 years later, they're like, you know what? Let's try again and do the second book.
So stupid.
Yeah.
It didn't work. So yeah, a lot happens in this paragraph.
Sorry to cut you off
Oh, you're
on
fine.
your recap.
What notes do you have? I forgot
Yes,
to take notes. I
so-
probably should have.
Yeah. In the drinking scene or whatever.
Yeah.
Like My Shot. I really like the how like Hercules is like banging on the table and stuff, like keeping beat.
Yeah.
It's just like a really cool like diegetic way of like having music without just being like the orchestra. Or I guess it's kind of a soundtrack though, right? Because it's electronic, some of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it was really cool.
Do they have a live orchestra in this?
There was an orchestra
There's a
pit.
pit- there's
an
He
orchestra
was
pit,
bowing,
but
the
I
guy
don't
from
know.
the pit was like, "Hey," and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh,
He was the guy that climbs out of it at one point.
yeah."
So I don't know. Maybe. I'd have to look into it.
Also, I took a lot of notes. because
Okay,
I've seen
good,
this
good,
again.
because I didn't.
So in the beginning, I noticed this, having watched this the second time. everybody's wearing white in the beginning,
Yeah.
and then except for Aaron Burr, but he's
Oh.
wearing red, which apparently is a theme in this
Oh.
whole show because all of the bad guys wear red.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point because they're the red coats.
Mm-hmm.
I never
So,
noticed
yeah.
that. That's really cool.
Yeah. The whole introducing the characters thing is fun. I don't know if that's necessarily a Broadway trope, but I thought that was cool.
Oh.
Yeah. Although it did confuse me because the actress that plays Peggy also plays
The mistress.
the
The
mistress.
mistress,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so when like it introduces them at the beginning, I was like, is Peggy gonna have a thing with him?
Yeah.
And then she never did, and I was confused until I realized they were the same
Hamilton
actress.
gets around.
Yeah, well, because they're all the same. Like the Lafayette, he plays Fluffy.
Jefferson.
Yes, thank you,
Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson, and like Hercules Mulligan plays Madison in the second act, which is hilarious because the dichotomy of the two characters is
Yeah.
just so funny.
Mhm.
Because he's
He
like
did a good-
super
I
like
didn't
loud
I
and the
didn't
bangy
realize
one.
it was the same guy.
Yeah.
He was all like coughing and stuff as Madison.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because he's supposed to be like sickly and he's super like chill. I love it. He's so good. I adore him.
I did notice this time that Lafayette and Jefferson were the same guy. I didn't notice that before, but
Oh.
I mean the hair should have been a dead giveaway because it's huge.
I had
Yeah.
seen him in other stuff before, so like it was hard for me
Yeah.
not to notice it.
Oh my gosh, the Lafayette might be my favorite character in this
He's
Yeah.
amazing.
Really good.
because first of all, French accent is great,
Mhm.
but he's not too jokey about it. Although
Yeah,
I
well,
don't
but I
think
mean, even
Lafayette's song isn't yet.
Lawrence plays Hamilton's kid in the second one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, or in the second act. I didn't mean second one, second act.
Go
So,
watch Hamilton 2 on Disney Plus.
yeah.
It's a. I don't know what it would be about. He didn't have any. Did he have great? He has not great kids because he had other kids.
He had other kids, but they didn't.
They weren't
As
as
far as
cool.
I know, they didn't really do
They didn't
anything.
get. They didn't get
Afterlife.
shot like his first kid.
Yeah,
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe they did.
yeah. I don't know.
Let's see.
Oh, also, I noticed, because I noticed a lot of colors in this, because it's a very colorful play,
Mm.
as all Broadway plays should be. Every character has their own, like, color. Then, like
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
wearing their own color, and then, like, when they change colors
What's
as well. It's
Hamilton's
really cool.
color?
I think it was green at some point.
Yeah.
I feel like it's blue,
So,
but I
think
feel
in
like he did wear green too.
I think
like
he
in the beginning.
changed, yeah, in the
Yeah.
second act.
Yeah.
He changed colors. Yeah.
That's probably also to help differentiate when same actors play different characters,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mhm.
how Peggy is
Green.
green, and then I don't remember her
Red.
character's
She's
name
red.
later is like maroon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Super dark red.
Yeah. I'm remembering Angelica is like yellow and Eliza's blue. She's like a cyan.
She yellow.
I thought one of them was pink.
Whatever.
It's good.
Dress colors.
I think if anything, the what kept me from watching this or listening to this play for as long as I did was probably the first song because it is abrasive at first. Like, but the first I'd heard of Hamilton was the opening line, which says
Oh.
"bastard" and "whore" in one sentence, and I'm like, what is this musical about? And I thought it was gonna be like super edgy, but I mean, it is edgy, but it's not super edgy.
Yeah.
It's not abrasive.
No.
So another thing I noticed, when King George comes out.
He's great. He's
Um,
in Frozen.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's Kristoff in Frozen.
Yeah.
No, that was
Yeah.
That's
That's the
Josh
actor.
Gad, isn't it?
No, Josh Gad.
Josh
Olaf.
Gad is Olaf,
Who?
The human boy.
the boy, the blonde.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
He does the
okay.
80s power ballad in Frozen 2.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No.
Beautiful.
Which I guess people were angry when he didn't really have a song in Frozen 1 because he was King George in this. And they're like, why
Oh.
didn't they?
I mean, he is a singer. Like that's kind
Yeah,
of what his thing is.
That is what he does.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed that he was like spitting a lot.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
was really weird.
So I actually
That's
read a whole
Broadway.
thing about that. Lin
Mhm.
Manuel Miranda, because he's like, because there were a lot of people, who were complaining about it. They were like, why would you leave that in? Because they have like different shots of him where he doesn't spit.
Yeah.
But he was like, it's the spit. The spit tells you the passion. It's
Oh.
really funny.
It's King George. He's not supposed to be appealing.
No.
That's what I was thinking. It was like they wanted to portray him in like a gross kind of way.
I just think he was just doing.
Like I understand like
I don't think it was
spitting on
actually
stage.
purposeful.
I think it's
To do-
something that
he
probably
wasn't
happens a lot
purposeful.
in
Yeah.
Broadway, but
Yeah,
you just don't
yeah.
notice it.
Yeah.
Because like with this, they recorded it, I believe, like 3 times, maybe 2, maybe 4. Where like some of it's recorded with an audience, some of it there's no audience, like when they have the camera on stage and stuff. So yeah, they could have easily just cut to a wider shot and
Oh,
not
yeah.
shown his spit. I think it's hilarious. Like that whole song, like every song that he's in is very good.
He is
Ruthie will be back.
so. His face, I love his performance in it. It is just so absolutely perfect with the way he like limits his movements to just very like specific little tiny movements, and everything else is really stiff. I
Yeah.
love him. He did such a good job. He was good.
I don't know if it still is, but I very much at first, Right Hand Man was my favorite song, may still be my favorite song, mostly because it's got some good rap breaks. The cannons as like percussion is fantastic, and all the booms, and George Washington's intro is just so badass.
Oh my god, it is the
It's
most
so cool.
badass. I don't even know what my favorite song is.
There's so many to choose from.
I
Just think
know.
about that. I don't think we've discussed favorite songs before,
Yeah, I like
like
Burn
as
a
a moment of
lot.
the movie thing, because we did like Little Mermaid 3, and we didn't talk about our favorite song from that
I don't remember that.
because it was all garbage.
I didn't even know there was a third Little Mermaid.
Oh,
I thought there was only 2.
Wait, wasn't it 2?
it was 3.
It was 3. Oh.
Yeah, because 2 is a sequel, 3 is the prequel to the first movie.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and there's also a TV show which takes place between the prequel and the first movie.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did not
They
know
can
that.
sing in it, right?
What?
They can sing in that one, right?
I don't know.
I don't remember what happened at the end.
I realized I just forgot to add a.
Something about
Wheel.
Footloose,
Oh god.
under the sea, something like that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's basically the third movie is basically Footloose but underwater, and about singing instead of dancing. I don't know. I haven't seen Footloose. Anyway, shall we continue?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. And the girl's last name pronounced is Skylar, correct?
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
It's
Skylar.
spelled Schuler.
Is it with the U?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Schuyler, but it's Skylar. I paid attention this time.
Okay.
At Philip Schuyler's ball,
Ball.
A Winter's Ball plays. Yes.
Oh,
Where he
I-
meets.
Yeah.
Where he meets.
Eliza Schuyler falls
Eliza.
hopelessly in love
Didn't
with
catch it with the ball.
Alexander,
Yeah.
who reciprocates her feelings, and the two later marry each other in Helpless, as Angelica suppresses her feelings for the sake of their happiness. At the wedding, in Satisfied, after the wedding, Burt congratulates Hamilton on his position as aide-de-camp to Washington. Hamilton admits that he would much rather have Burr's position on the battlefield. In the Story of Tonight reprise, Burr reflects on Hamilton's swift rise while considering his career as more cautious and Wait for It, which is great. That shot was in the trailer from Wait for It.
Oh, I didn't watch the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer sold me on it. It's got that like there's like that one shot of him like reaching up and the dancers are spinning around him. It's in the trailer, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, wedding's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Wait for It was my favorite song, but then like watching it, I think Satisfied is almost one of my favorite songs.
That's a good
That's
one.
a-
It's really good.
Because it's just so pretty with the way they do it with
and
the spinning
Mhm.
and they start reversing.
I do
It's
love
so pretty.
how Satisfied like recreates the previous song,
Mm-hmm.
but like from a different.
It's
It's
really
not
good.
necessarily from a different perspective, because she does the same things in the first time through, but the spotlight's on her that time.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Like
It's
oh,
just like her thoughts.
yeah, it's very good.
So good.
And I had a thought. Oh, I realized when I was watching Satisfied this time that Greatest Showman has a nearly identical song theme-wise to Satisfied with Never Enough, which is like
Oh,
basically the same type of thing. I don't know.
Interesting.
I could see that.
Yeah,
It does kind of
'cause
have the same kind of theme,
Yeah.
ideology behind the lyrics.
except
totally
this is
see
better
that.
than Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
I agree. I really like The Greatest Showman, but
I
this is better.
I have mixed feelings about Greatest Showman. I love the soundtrack,
Fair.
but I felt like I was going out of my mind watching a movie. Like the whole, like all the the connective tissue is kind of weird for me, but like the music itself is
That's fair.
just banger after banger.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to watch it again. But yeah, one song at least is, I got it confused, which is why I realized that there was a connection there.
Mm.
Aaron Burr, very good. A lot of Burr in this. Like a lot of it is told from his perspective.
Yeah.
He's almost is he? Yeah, he's kind of the narrator, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Kind of.
He's the narrator up to a point, and then like at the very end. No, even at the very end, Eliza's not the narrator because it's still Aaron Burr narrating what she's doing post death.
It's like they share narration.
Yeah. Towards the end, yeah.
He it's hard to even really pinpoint a narrator in this, but
Yeah.
if you had to pick one, I would pick
say
Burr.
Burr.
Yeah, he does speak directly to the audience.
Yeah, a lot more than any of the other characters do.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I would say he's the narrator, which I think
Yeah.
is interesting
Yeah.
to make him the narrator.
yeah, one of my favorite lines is the last song with him, like the villain in your history, and like I love that song so much.
It's very good.
Ugh.
Though, yeah. Again, I don't know how historically accurate a lot of this movie is, but I love what's in it, so that's what we're talking about. Yes.
Some of it is, some of it isn't. I could actually probably tell you exactly what is and what isn't, but
I
we
mean,
don't
yeah,
have time for that.
if you're able to like point out certain things.
It's mostly, it tries to be. It does a good job at it. There are
good.
some things where they tweak it a little bit, but it it is mostly accurate.
There's
so.
there's certain parts where I'm sort of like it never specifically says if him and Angelica had an affair. It says they don't, but in my mind I'm like, I think they may have.
See, that was one of the things that they actually tweaked a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it seems she was actually really happily married.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
she was actually really happily married. There were like, I think inklings where there could have been something between them, but she actually was like, as much as we can tell, she was actually happy with the guy that she ended up with. So
interesting.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I thought the same
It
way
definitely
too.
makes
I
it
was
more
like,
dramatic.
but yeah,
Okay, so they
you
did.
always have to have all the love.
Mm-hmm.
As much as because it makes it more fun to watch, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
Plus, it makes Satisfied beautiful.
Yeah.
It created a beautiful song. And then in the end, with like her siding with Eliza when he cheats, then it also kind of gives more oomph to that too. So
Yeah.
And I think besides that, the one other thing was I think it's a little too what is the word, forgiving, I guess, towards Alexander during the whole affair thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Where
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's not completely his fault, and I'm like,
Well,
Alexander.
Yeah.
I think it's a
But-
little too nice to him.
yeah,
during that.
but it is also, you also have to think it is told from him, so he
Yeah.
would paint himself better than
Absolutely.
anybody else would. So
Yeah, where it kind of vilifies her more than
Mhm.
I think she necessarily deserves. I don't know. Like I don't know the history of those two. So who's to
True.
say?
it's funny. My partner, she loves. Okay, sorry. She loves Hamilton. Like that's one of the reasons why I've seen it so many damn times, because she will turn it on anytime she wants, and I've seen it so many times because of her. But she actually despises Hamilton.
Yeah.
She hates him so much because he cheated on Eliza, because she adores Eliza.
Yeah.
And so every time she's all like nice and like singing along with Hamilton, and then as soon as the cheating song happens, she's like, I hate you. It's really funny. She's like, every time something bad happens to him, she's like, yeah, you deserve it. boom.
Yeah, at least
really
they do
funny.
include that, which I think is good.
Yeah.
They could have glossed over that whole thing.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I think it is a little too nice to him, but he's still definitely not the hero of the story during
Mhm.
that part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
But we'll get there. We're jumping ahead. We do this all the time. As conditions worsen for the Continental Army, Hamilton aids Lawrence in a duel against Charles Lee in Stay Alive. Oh, that was Charles. Interesting. Who insulted Washington. Lawrence injures Lee, who in turn yields in the 10 Duel Commandments. Hamilton is temporarily suspended by Washington and Meet Me Inside over the duel and is sent home. There, Eliza reveals that she is pregnant with her first child and asks Hamilton to slow down and take in what has happened in their lives in That Would Be Enough. After Lafayette convinces France to get involved on the colonist sides in guns and ships, he urges Washington to call Hamilton back to help plan the final siege of Yorktown. Washington agrees, but explains to Hamilton, who is convinced he should die a martyr and a hero in war, that he should be careful with his actions because whatever he does will be known for ages to come, and history has its eyes on you. At the siege of Yorktown, Hamilton meets up with Lafayette to take down the British, revealing that Mulligan was recruited as a spy, helping them figure out how to trap the British and win the war. In Yorktown, parentheses, the world turned upside down.
I
in
love
the
how it
paragraph.
just tells you all the songs.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Just
think
so
that
you
that's
know.
useful. It helps me keep in my head what is happening.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was Charles Lee. Who's the bad guy in Assassin's Creed 3?
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's like the Templar. No, he's not the Templar Grandmaster, but he is a Templar.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Every
so
time
good thing
you
he got shot.
Yeah. Every time you say a new song, I'm like, oh, that's my favorite one.
they're all so good.
I know.
Mhm.
My goodness, the whole duel thing. The duels are great. They make a really good use of the spinning stage.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um,
I love the slow-mo.
yeah.
So good.
Oh,
That
yeah. There's
actually, the extra. So they've got all the. They're not extra. What are
Ensemble.
that? Thank you, ensemble. So there's the one special. There's a couple special parts for the ensemble, but the one special part of the ensemble, I don't know if you guys noticed,
The
but it's
bullet
the
lady?
one. Yeah, the bullet lady.
Yeah.
And she
It's
has.
the best word I have.
Yeah, it is because she does the slow mo of
I
the
believe her
bullet.
Yeah,
role
yeah.
is
She's
just called, like, the
continually
bullet.
throughout it. Every
Yeah.
time she talks to someone, they die.
Oh,
Or they get,
I
like-
forgot about that. I
like,
remembered that
bad
there was
news or
something
something.
about her because I
Yeah.
had known that previous, but I forgot when I was gonna watch out for it, but I forgot.
Yeah, she's like the bringer of death, is what they
Yeah.
call her in the
Oh.
ensemble. So she's so good. She does her part so well. So
I love the way they use the ensemble. in
Mm.
this.
They're
Just
great.
like they're instead of like having special effects on like the stage itself, it's all like actors doing
yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
it's
like
really neat.
Mhm.
I
Like
wonder-
when they did that like in the middle of a hurricane or whatever. They like the whole ensemble like around them like in these weird positions like it was a hurricane. I was like, so good.
Very
Yeah.
cool. I wonder. I feel like a broken record, but I wonder how the spinning stage works.
I think
They
we
had
have
to
one.
special make it.
We have
Yeah.
one at what's it called? That
Because
Play-
like
the
there's
Playhouse.
there's
The
two
Hale
rings.
Center
There's
Theater?
yeah, Hell Center Theater.
there's
Yeah.
the outer ring which spins clockwise, and then there's an inner ring that spins counterclockwise.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Or sometimes they both spin
Yeah.
clockwise or counterclockwise. But it's cool, especially when one is spinning one way and one is spinning the other way.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It
like
just
with
makes
the
a
duel,
really cool effect.
That's like the best way, especially for this, to do a duel on stage, is to have them spinning around so you can see both people, so it's
Right.
not like two profiles or.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cool. And then Charles Lee gets shot, and it's awesome. It's really funny. His whole like I'm a general yippee part is
Mhm.
fantastic,
It is.
which is a very different type of character than he is in Assassin's Creed. He's very dark in that. Lafayette, oh my gosh, Lafayette's song is great. And like leads into the whole,
His rapping bit.
oh my goodness.
Oh
Ugh.
yeah.
It's so
I don't know
beautiful.
how you're able to rap in a French accent and not make it sound stupid.
It's
Mhm.
perfect.
It's just enough amount of silly because French accents are kind of funny.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
Just inherently funny.
Yeah. Well, and they kind of do make a little fun of it in like the first song that he's in, where he's
Mhm.
like, "How do you say?"
Yeah.
Because
my
he's just
gosh.
kind of a goofy character.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. There's the That Would Be Enough song, which is contrast to Satisfied.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really
Mhm.
like that song.
Which is, I do wish Eliza did more, because she has like great stuff in the last bit, but for a huge stretch of the play, it's just her talking, trying to get Hamilton to slow down, which I guess is probably what she was doing in real life, because my goodness, that dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess you can't really give her more to do if she wasn't doing more in real life. But it's hard for us to know.
My mom wanted to play with about just her.
Just her? Yeah, she's
Just-
great.
She doesn't like Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she does, but it's like she doesn't like him as a person, which I kind of agree because he kind of was not that great of a person.
Yeah.
Like when you actually look into him, he's really not that great of a
It's
person.
like
but-
it's the same thing with Greatest Showman, where
Yeah.
the musical is great, but the real life person not so much.
Yeah, it's like,
History Has Its Eyes on You. It's good. CG Yorktown.
Yes.
Yeah. I was real for the first time I watched this, I was real invested in the revolutionary stuff. And I got bored once the revolution ended. But the best parts are in Act 2 for me, at least.
oh yeah,
Like it's
I was
action packed
flip-flopped.
during the revolution, but after like there's some real good.
I think it's more visually entertaining
Yeah.
in the second act, and that's probably maybe why you have that.
Yeah.
Because like watching it is different.
Yeah.
So, because even though a lot of it is just them talking, it's really, which it kind of feels weird to say because like the first act is really action packed, but I feel like the second act is more visually entertaining just because of the way that Hamilton and Jefferson like act off each other.
Oh yeah.
They're just so fun to watch. You're just like, wow, you guys
It's very good.
hate each other and it's hilarious.
Well, I think part of it was the illegal video, because it's just top down, and
That's
that's just visually kind of boring to watch because
Yeah.
it's low quality. You can see the people, but like when it's up close, like you get a much more appreciation for what's going into it. Oh my goodness. Next paragraph time. Soon after the victory at Yorktown, King George asked the rebels how they will succeed in governing their own in What Comes Next. Beautiful. Lafayette returns to France with plans to inspire his people to have their revolution. That goes well. Hamilton's son Philip is born, while Burr has a daughter, Theodosia?
Yeah.
Theodosia.
Awesome. And the two tell their children how they will do anything to protect them in Dear Theodosia. Hamilton receives word that his friend Lawrence has been killed. Oh, he places the son, doesn't
Yeah.
he? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I just now realized that.
Yeah.
Has been killed in a seemingly pointless... Oh, so when he says, I died for him, in the beginning, it's both of his characters he's talking about. Okay. Has been killed in a seemingly...
Got it.
I'm just realizing this now. Has been killed in a seemingly pointless battle. Oh, it makes so much sense. After the war was won and throws himself into his work, and tomorrow there'll be more of us. He co-authors the Federalist Papers and is selected as Secretary of the Treasury by newly elected President Washington. Eliza begs Hamilton to stay. Angelica moves to London with her new husband in non-stop. End of Act 1.
Yeah, this may sound weird, but I love the intermission.
Yeah.
Because
there is one.
yeah, I don't know. It's something about intermissions just are so great because you're just like, okay, now I get to take a break from the movie for a bit.
Yeah.
Stand up and walk around.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if it is like a streaming movie, I think all movies that are over 2 hours, or 2 hours or more, should have an intermission that maybe is just like 10 seconds long. That because it's a time where it's like, here, I'm forcing you to contemplate pressing pause. Like, here is a good stopping point if you need to go to the bathroom
Yeah.
or
Right.
stretch or get something to eat.
And it gives you kind of like even just a tiny second to kind of process
Yeah,
Yeah.
what
that
you just watched.
what just happened in Act 1, and you know that it's continuing.
Yeah.
Like, gives you a moment where
To
your
look
brain
at
is
the
like,
look
okay.
at the task, look at the progress bar, and you're like, oh, halfway done.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, there's so much more movie left.
Yeah. I think
my goodness, the thing about Lawrence and Philip just blew my mind just
Oh
now.
my god.
I really like
fun.
the
Just now realized it's both characters he's talking
oh
about.
my gosh. So I really like when they're doing that can't remember what the song is, but when they're like talking to their kids.
And Dear Theodosia.
Dear Theodosia.
Yes, that.
That's a good one. Oh, when like they're on two sides of the stage and
it's,
there's the light
split
between
into,
them.
like 2 separate spotlights. It's really cool.
It is.
And how they use the chair as like a crib. But there's no actual baby, but you know that there's a baby because it looks like a crib.
Mm.
No, I didn't even
They
notice
did a
that.
really good lighting design.
That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely fabulous. Like I think it was in What Comes Next.
Yeah.
They did like that lighting cue with
Mm.
like
Oh,
King
when
George.
he stomps the floor and it turns blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
So
Yes.
good.
Yeah. No, I love that so much. Every time I see it, I'm like, I'm waiting. Yes. It's bad.
And how
Bad.
he's like the sort of like descent of King George over his appearances, where he's
Mhm.
like got his full regalia on at first,
Oh,
and then
yeah,
in this
he
one, like
slowly
he's not
loses-
wearing the coat anymore.
Yeah.
And I think the third time he shows up, he's like not even wearing his jacket anymore, and he
Yeah.
doesn't have his scepter.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
That
his
is
third
good.
his third appearance where he just like pulls up a chair and sits on stage.
I
is
love that.
So
and
funny.
And he's there the whole time. And like
Yeah.
if you go and look over him, he's always doing something. It's great.
I just love that I feel like we're getting ahead, but he like walks just like in the middle of one of the scenes.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And like when in this one where he walks in and it looks like everyone's like packing up and leaving,
Oh,
like they're
yeah.
moving chairs and stuff. He's like,
He's great.
does a good job. There was one, I don't know if it was on Disney Plus. Yeah, it was on Disney Plus. It was Disney Insider, where it had like a behind the scenes thing on Hamilton of the system they use to get props on set, and like they have like these rails that run through, and so they have them like in order of when they appear, and they'll just like push them on set and then push them back out the second end.
Huh.
And they talk
That's
about like
cool.
how they somehow manage to break the pistols constantly. And like they have
How?
like this whole, I don't know how they break them, but apparently they do. And, like all the props they have for there,
They
and
just get off stage and then just throw the pistols on the
Yeah.
ground.
I guess
Working on set for that would be so fun. It'd
Oh,
be
for
so
sure.
chaotic, but it'd be so fun.
it's very cool.
Yeah. Fun fact, Dear Theodosia was written about his dog.
What?
Lin-Manuel
About
Miranda,
Lin-Manuel
when he wrote it, he was
Oh,
thinking of
really?
his dog.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's some good like inspirations for him that come up for like all like it's fun. What's his dog? That's interesting.
He's funny. He's great.
Lin is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an amazing writer.
Like I think I didn't really hear or see any of Lin until like he guest starred on My Brother and Me, the
Oh.
podcast,
Huh.
and like he was on the show too on the Candle Night
Mm.
special, which is hilarious. Where they're like when he's on the podcast, they're like intentionally not talking about Hamilton on Disney Plus
Mhm.
until Griffin makes like the worst joke ever. Involving Porky Pig, and then while they're
Oh.
just dying, he comes back in. Anyway, Hamilton on Disney Plus, and he's like, "No, don't talk about it now." It's so funny. But yeah, Lin he's it's crazy that he's as successful as he is because he's such just a dude.
Mhm.
He's
Like he
great.
listens to podcasts and shit. It's crazy. Where was I?
Well, he wrote a
Nonstop.
play before this, right?
Yep, it's actually really, really good. And they're making it into a movie.
Wow.
Oh my god, the movie looks so
What play was it?
freaking
It's like
good.
something height.
Yeah, I literally have the soundtrack on my phone and I'm blanking right now, and I think it's Washington.
What?
Is
no.
it? No, it's not Washington. It's
Let me look it up.
In the Heights. In
In
the
the
Heights.
Heights.
Yes.
It's In the Heights. And they're making a movie. It was supposed to come out last year, and then they had to delay it because of COVID, and I'm
Oh.
pissed. Because the movie,
Oh my goodness.
it looks absolutely amazing the way that they choreographed it, and it's got really good people. It's got like Rosa from B99 and Gina Rodriguez. And actually the guy who
Oh,
plays Philip
right.
in Hamilton is the main character in the Heights.
He was in Mary
So-
Poppins Returns. I
Yeah,
forgot about
he was
that.
the chimney guy.
The lamplighter.
Yeah,
They
and
replaced-
he sings in Moana as well. He
Yeah, he's in
helped-
Moana,
yeah.
and he
helps
did
write and sing in Moana.
he did a Cantina song for Force Awakens.
Nice. I can see that.
I can see
Yeah.
that. That makes sense. My goodness, Mary
But-
Poppins. I hope we get Mary Poppins Returns at some point. It is a bizarre film.
It is.
I feel like it takes the Mary Poppins lore like 2 steps further than it ever should go,
Yeah.
and it makes you really just question what the hell Mary Poppins is.
Uh-huh.
Or like
It's
she'll
so
just like
much.
like at one point like they ask her like, oh, like when are you gonna leave, and she like gets just like middle distance stares like, I leave when the door opens. And I'm like, what does that mean? What are you? My parents in there in the theater, they're like, oh, this is interesting. I'm like, is she a god or something?
She's a nanny god.
Yeah, she's like some sort of eldritch whatever. Anyway, Act 2.
Yay.
Is it Act 2's longer than Act 1, isn't it? It feels like
no,
I
it's
would,
about the same.
That's about,
it's
yeah.
about the same. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Usually it's actually shorter.
and yeah, it
really?
feels like
Yeah.
it's longer than it normally would be. I didn't pay super attention to
I
the
did.
timeline on it.
I like looked at the time and I was like, ah, yes, it is half.
Exactly half. Thank you, Disney Plus. So we start Act 2. Thomas Jefferson returns to America from being the U.S. ambassador to France. And what did I miss? In 1789, Jefferson and Hamilton debate the latter's financial propositions at a cabinet meeting. Washington pulls Hamilton aside and tells him to figure out a compromise to win over Congress in cabinet battle. Number 1.
Nice.
I didn't remember what I'd miss watching this
Oh yeah.
until I don't remember watching it the first time, but it is so funny.
It's
I love
so
it. Yeah,
good.
it's so good.
It's a
It's
great
one of my
song.
favorite songs.
Like
Mhm.
Jefferson's look is fantastic. The hair is great, and he's got this just
the
purple
velvet suit.
Ooh,
The
it's-
velvet freaking
It's so
suit.
good. The velvet suit. It's fantastic. One thing that did bug me this time was there's a lot of talk about people's opinions about Hamilton's financial plan, but it never really talks about exactly what the plan is.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
Yeah.
It sort of just wants you to agree with Hamilton. I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't know what. I have to look in the history books of what his plan was.
Well,
They seem to be against it being like that it's like big government or something
I
like that they're against.
I think it might be purposeful because
they don't want you to get into the politics of it.
yeah, because his plan actually sucks and I
Yeah.
hate it. Like cuz I actually don't agree with his like politics at all.
Interesting.
So I think they probably did that on purpose
Yeah.
because they were like we want him to be more likable to everybody instead of what his politics are because, you know, he's in this he really is just a character.
Yeah.
So,
it's-
and if
it's
you
more-
like get caught up in the politics, you're just going to get caught up on that and forget everything else. So,
Yeah, it's more just about his life story, not necessarily
Mhm.
against his political views. And I'm sure Lynn also didn't want like half the discourse of his musical to be about the politics of
Yeah.
the musical.
which it
Yeah.
already is, which is ridiculous, but fine. It's
Yeah,
whatever.
like if you like
It's
I'm
whatever.
sure he didn't want people to leave the theater and be like, well, actually this
Mhm.
plan would have worked in history, blah blah blah. Like
Yeah.
that it's missing the point of the musical, which is just about his life
And rap.
and rap and hip hop,
Yeah.
And-
Rap and hip hop.
beatboxing.
Stretching the boundaries of Broadway.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure some Broadway elitists hated this
Oh,
when
they-
it first came out.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, for real.
They did?
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm sure they did.
Oh, big big. It was a big deal. It was like one of the first that not the first cuz actually I think it's in Into the Woods. I think
Oh,
could be
that's a-
wrong.
That's a trip.
But I think that was technically the first that has rap because they have really, really fast speaking,
Right.
but they
Yeah.
don't consider it rap because they don't put hip hop and like beats behind it. It's
Mhm.
just really fast speaking.
Interesting.
So that was their first.
Did not enjoy Into the Woods, but I did see like just a
movie, you mean?
community. I've not seen the movie because
Oh,
I
okay.
despised the musical when I watched it, but it was like a community theater thing, so I'm sure
Oh yeah. Community theater's rough.
it made me feel like I was watching a dumbed down Kingdom Hearts or something like that, where it's like everything's connected. I would rather
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
That I mean, people watching that know me are gonna find that very hypocritical, and yes, I know.
Because you watch all those Kingdom Hearts things.
Yeah, and I'm working on a not D&D. It's a different system. I'm working on a campaign that is all based on obscure Disney parks lore,
Oh man.
where it's like there's like a secret society that's introduced in Tokyo Disney Sea that's got references and a bunch of rides, and it's like Indiana Jones is canon, Pirates of the
Oh my
Caribbean is
God.
canon, Avatar is canon,
What?
everything is. Yeah,
Wow.
it's a red web.
It's like the Pixar theory or whatever.
It's like that. Yeah, it's like the Pixar. It's like the
Ah.
Pixar theory, where it's like, oh, in this restaurant, there's a sea reference, and there's wilderness explorers from up in there, and the wilderness explorers are also in Pandora, the world of Avatar in Animal Kingdom, which means that Avatar is canon to this story, and
Wow.
this character met Jack Sparrow.
Oh boy.
Damn.
But yeah, but I don't like Into the Woods for the exact same reason that I like that, because everything's connected.
Fair.
Also, the reason I didn't like Once Upon a Time, but that's a whole different thing. Where are we?
Is that TV
I have
show
10
where they were like?
Okay, you got 10 minutes. We're gonna go.
Sorry.
Eliza and her. So we're gonna do the closing stuff with just us, which is fine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's totally fine.
cool.
Eliza and her family, along with Angelica, back from London, travel upstate during the summer, while Hamilton stays home to work on the compromise and take a break. Hamilton begins an affair with Maria Reynolds,
Oh,
making
there
him
he is.
vulnerable to her husband's blackmail and say no to this. Hamilton, Jefferson, and James Madison create the compromise of 1790, not 1970, over a private dinner, exchanging Hamilton's financial plan for placing the country's permanent capital on the Potomac River. I don't know what that means. Burr is
The
envious
sea.
of Hamilton's sway in the government and wishes he had similar power in the room where it happens. Burr switches political parties and defeats Philip Schuyler, making Hamilton now a rival in Schuyler defeated. Gotta say, not too sympathetic of Burr at this point. He kind of comes across as whiny. Or
Yeah,
like
I
Jeremy
mean,
Burr, like his whole like don't let them know what you're against or what you're for. But Hamilton like saying like what he believes in is the reason that Hamilton becomes more powerful than Burr. Or Burr's just like Burr just wants power but doesn't really want, or he wants responsibility and power, but he doesn't want to really like back any particular horse, which is the only
yeah,
way
I
that
don't
he's
think he wants people to not like him. Which
yeah.
is the
Yeah.
whole
He's-
like smile more kind of thing.
Exactly. He's too afraid of people not liking him
Mhm.
Yeah.
to take the risk. Cause like you're not gonna like, especially in politics, you're not gonna get
Like everybody.
anywhere high unless people hate you. And Burr is just too afraid of making people hate him,
Yeah.
which
That's
really
pretty fair.
backfires in the end.
Oh, yeah.
That's what that whole song is
Everyone
about.
hates him.
He tries so hard to please everybody, and then eventually makes everybody hate him in like history.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Well, so yeah, what's interesting about like the whole like noticing that he's more whiny is that I think like in this first act, he's like the good guy. His friend is like his teacher, kind of, like helping him along and
Yeah.
stuff. And then in the second act, now they're kind of equals.
Yeah.
And so now Burr is kind of like slowly declining into this antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
He's starting to
I think
get
it's really
bitter
cool.
because
Yeah.
Hamilton is rising above him.
Yeah.
And yeah, the whole "Room Where It Happens" song is key to his personality because
Mhm.
it's like Hamilton's is all about like I want to make a difference, and Burr just wants to be in the room where it happens. Like he
Mhm.
doesn't want to make anything happen; he just wants to be in the room for it. Like which is like
He wants to know.
yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which is the reason that he never
Never knows.
really ends up in the room
Mm-mm.
No.
at
he
any
doesn't.
point. He's not ambitious enough. Too bad. Yeah, Maria Reynolds, that whole thing happens.
I really like her song. I'm
It's
not
good.
gonna lie.
Yeah, it's good.
Her song is good, but the part I hate it. It pisses me off every time. And I know they did it purposely. It's because she uses the helpless, like how Eliza did in the first act. She's like,
They use that melody?
no, but she uses
Oh.
the I am helpless.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And they use the same lyrics from Helpless in this just for like a little
Oh.
bit, just for like a line or two when
Oof.
he's like trying to leave. And it pisses me off so bad because I'm like, that's
How dare you?
no. but it's perfect, and she does it really well.
Mhm.
But it makes me so mad.
And it's so funny how she's got this beautiful voice that she uses during this song, and then in her previous appearance, she's got "and Peggy."
Yeah.
Like it goes from that to this, which is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
I don't know why Peggy has to be funny, but she definitely is.
Well, she's like that, the youngest child that nobody really likes.
Hmm.
She's
It
like
just
such a
has to be-
square at the beginning, and she's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, we're not supposed to meow, and you can go home."
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I love. This is again more of the ensemble, but like the guy who plays Ryan. Oh, not Ryan. Is this
Yeah,
Reynolds?
Ryan, the famed
Yeah,
character from
Ryan.
American history. Ryan.
No, Mr. Reynolds. What's his first name? Does it say?
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that guy.
Um,
On the IMDb.
No, it doesn't.
I
Oh,
don't think it-
Mr. Reynolds.
Yeah,
Just
just Mr.
Mr.
Reynolds.
I don't remember. It's like I don't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, but he's ensemble.
Google
he
Docs
appears as
can
like
tell me.
several different characters.
Yeah, is he
He's like
James
is he
Reynolds.
Charles Lee too?
father,
Okay,
and then he's
James Reynolds.
James Reynolds.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
And then I think he's someone else. I'm trying to think.
Ooh, I got her Wikipedia page.
no, I don't think. I do know who you're talking about. He's bald, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I do know who you're talking about.
America's first political sex scandal. Congratulations, Hamilton.
Good job.
First murder trial and first sex scandal.
Is that true that he got the first murder trial?
I mean, it says it in this.
Yeah.
Well,
And he was working with
I
Burr.
would
And
feel
on this one, like it really ticked me off when Burr is like, yeah, I switched political parties
oh yeah.
so I could get a promotion, and now we're on opposite sides. And Hamilton's like, dude, like we were bros. He's like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, but then like backing this horse got me further. So tough darts.
But it also is Hamilton would have totally done that too. Like it's kind of almost
Probably.
hypocritical of Hamilton because
Oh, yeah.
he would have totally.
There's a
done
lot
that,
about
like-
Hamilton that's hypocritical in this.
Yeah.
But it's Lynn, and he
Oh, yeah.
sings like he's constantly running out of breath, and it's great.
Yeah.
They did do the first murder trial. That is actually a
Nice.
thing.
Who murdered who?
Hamilton murdered somebody.
I remember.
It looks
watching-
like
looking that up.
it was
Mhm.
Levi Weeks, it's Levi Weeks, who was accused of
Levi.
murdering Elma Sands.
Alma.
All right.
Sounds like
Sure.
two Quakers.
They probably were.
It reminds me, there's a video I was watching about Walt Disney's original plans for Epcot
Oh.
and of like the whole like experimental community and whatever. And the legal implications were just terrifying, how like everyone would be basically under constant surveillance
Oh.
to like, be the experiment. And then someone was like, Walt, what happens if, because he wanted to be like self-governing.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone was like, Walt, what if somebody murders someone in Epcot? What do we do then? And he's like, eh.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
It's like, what do we do about that? Anyway, it's so weird. Yeah, the whole Skylar being Hamilton's father-in-law doesn't really cover that too
Oh.
much.
Yeah. I
Because
mean,
he's kind of like he's a political rival to Hamilton.
no.
I think.
No.
Because Hamilton's in the cabinet. He's not like
Oh,
he doesn't have to be voted in or anything.
it's confusing. Anyway,
Although no, he's on the same political.
Party. They're in
Party,
the
yeah,
same
he's in the same-
party.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they're both Federalists.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
And Burr was a Federalist, but he changed political parties to run against Schuyler.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That was kind of
That
the whole
makes
deal.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Continuing onward. In another cabinet meeting, Jefferson and Hamilton argue over whether the United States should assist France in its conflict with Britain. President Washington ultimately agrees with Hamilton's argument for remaining neutral in Cabinet Battle Number 2. In the wake of this, Jefferson, Madison, and Burr decide to join forces and find a way to discredit Hamilton in Washington's eyes, in Washington on your side. Washington decides to retire from the presidency, and Hamilton assists in writing a farewell address in One Last Time.
I loved how they used Washington's actual speech.
Oh, he
Yeah.
did.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Oh shoot.
That's
A lot
good.
of those not the whole thing, but a lot of the lines are the same. It's really cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Lynn, you're a genius.
I know he's
One does have a.
he's so good.
Also, so in the
I do
cabin-
disagree
oh.
with Hamilton on the whole French Revolution thing.
Yeah,
that you
I do
shouldn't
too.
help?
Yeah, like I know, like he
Yeah.
uses this loophole of like, well, technically the person
He's dead.
we made that agreement with is dead, and technically it's more of a revolution than a war, or like, it's more of a civil war than a war. Like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, like the French Revolution may have been less of a shit show if America had helped a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably would have been a lot different.
Or like I don't
You
know if
know.
I don't have all the details, so I don't know if I necessarily disagree with the choice, but I definitely disagree with Hamilton's weird loophole that he goes through.
Yeah.
And like it's the one point where Jefferson is like more in the right than he is pretty much through the rest of the play,
Mm.
where it's like we promised to help France, so why aren't we?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm like, well, we can't.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it was the right decision. I don't know. I'm not a historian.
Well, like in that rap battle thing that they did this one line that I thought was really awesome. They did a Biggie Smalls reference,
They
which I
did?
love. Yeah, at the end of the rap battle, he's like, "And if you don't know,
Now
you
you
know,
know."
Mr. President." Drop the mic. It's so good.
That is good. I have to go.
You have to go. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Bye.
Farewell,
Thank you.
Washington on your
Where's my
side.
phone? Why is it like
That's a
this?
bop.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Why is this? Oh my gosh. What a mess. Get over here.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get this over here so that I have more cord.
Smart.
Okay.
Farewell address. Continuing onward. A flabbergasted King George receives word that George Washington has stepped down and will be replaced by Paris signatory John Adams, and I know him. Gosh, the way he says that. John Adams.
Yeah.
Immediately, like, for like, even like the little bit of history nerds, is like, yeah, John Adams. And John Adams becomes the second president and fires Hamilton, who publishes an inflammatory critique of the new president. As a response, in the Adams administration, in the face of accusations of speculation of government funds by Jefferson, Madison, and Burr, and out of fear that his affair with Maria Reynolds will be used against him in his political career in We Know, which is referred to as Unless by Lin-Manuel.
Oh.
He uses a different name for it, which is why I was confused. I'm waiting for that to come up. And Hamilton chooses to publicize his affair in Hurricane, in the Reynolds pamphlet, There's 3 songs right there. Damaging his
heck.
relationship with Eliza. Eliza, in a heartbroken retaliation, burns on the letters Hamilton wrote her, trying to erase herself from history in burn. Philip instructed. Goodness, I just got a weird stabbing pain. Philip, instructed by Hamilton, challenges George Eaker to a duel and is critically injured in Blow Us All Away, and dies in Stay Alive reprise, causing a reconciliation between Alexander and Eliza in It's Quiet Uptown. Very depressing.
Mm-hmm.
So one fun thing that he mentioned during the interview is that the whole Unless in the We Know song,
Mm-hmm.
that whole scene, those 3 are inspired by that he based that off of the McElroy brothers from My Brother and Me.
Oh.
So like the way the cadence of how the 3 are talking are
Mhm.
based off of them, and
Huh.
knowing that in hindsight and being a fan of the McElroys is really funny to watch that scene again. But yeah, this whole thing is, I think that it's pretty baller of Hamilton to just be like,
Mhm.
hey, they could use this against me. Well, let me just leak it. It's like when someone leaks their own nudes on
Yeah.
Twitter, or it's like, oh yeah, someone's been sharing this around, so I'm just gonna post it. Ha ha. Joke's on you. Or I guess not necessarily on Twitter, because Twitter doesn't like that.
They're like, take it there.
Wherever that does happen.
Google.
Google, I guess. I don't know. But it's that sort of principle, like, because
Yeah.
the last thing Burr says to him is like, rumors are like wildfire; they'll spread no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, okay.
Although it wasn't really a rumor at that point.
No, like he tries at first to be like I'll like prove I've got the receipts, which like really smart of him to
Mhm.
keep the receipts during all that.
Yeah.
It's like this can stay between us, and they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. But then there's like, but they know, so
Yeah.
Like that could like if they had like if they had that bullet in the chamber, and they could have fired that at him at any point and like messed up whatever he was doing, but just getting it away like just takes their ammunition away from them, and it does damage him, but like not for that long.
Right. Yeah.
Reynolds pamphlet. Oh my gosh,
Also-
Philip.
Okay.
Philip's duel.
Oh yeah.
When he gets
Ah.
shot and it starts spinning as he goes like that, makes it look like he's flying back.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It's good.
so good. And thanks to 1700s medicine, he did not survive.
Oh
because
yeah. As soon as they were like, oh, he's
it's already been infected. Like,
yeah, I was like,
that's-
oh, he's dead.
that's why people would die from gunshot wounds back then, not because of the gunshot. Like it went through his hip and then got lodged in his arm, which is
Mhm.
not a fatal wound, but it got infected, so that's how he died.
Yeah.
My goodness, that part's depressing.
Yeah. for
And the
sure.
whole "It's Quiet Uptown" song is such a bummer.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but yay, they get back together.
I don't know. It really didn't feel like they got back together though.
Kind.
You know. It was just
It's like,
like,
we sit in the garden in silence a lot, and there's like the one in the chorus goes like, "Forgiveness." Like, I guess.
Yeah.
Does he deserve it?
Not really, yeah. So one thing I
It's his,
noticed.
like, it's his fault
Mhm.
essentially that his son died,
Yeah.
because like he's like, "Oh, I'm going to defend your honor." Like, the right thing would do would have just been like,
Kill him.
no,
Shoot him.
no, would just to be tell Philip like,
Don't
I
fight. Yeah, they
don't
haven't even.
care. Like, I don't care if some kid at college is making fun of me.
Yeah.
And the whole like his like philosophy of duels of like, oh, just shoot in the air and then they'll be like, oh, we're bigger men than this, is so stupid
Yeah.
that he
because
thinks that will ever work. We never see it work in this play.
Yeah.
Because the person is going to be spinning around and shooting at the same time. They're not going to spin around, see you going up and go, oh, never mind.
Yeah. It's kind of dumb.
It's like, oh, I was already pointing up. And it's the whole like, not going to throw away my shot thing. And the reason both of them die is because they literally throw away their shot,
Oh yeah.
which I
that's
always
cool. I
thought was
didn't-
really cool.
Yeah, that is
yeah,
cool.
it's because he threw away his shot.
I noticed that with him, but I guess I didn't notice it with his son. Yeah, that's really
Mhm.
cool.
But I guess both they would have died either way, because like even if they shot the other person, they still would have received their bullet. I think,
How do you know?
unless they
so
shot first.
Yeah, the hope is of a duel is that you shoot before they're able to
Mhm.
shoot you.
Or they're terrible at like.
Or yeah, they just like.
There's like that one type of duel. There's like some movie I saw, and I don't know if it's historically accurate, where they'll have 2 or 3 pistols. I believe sometimes it's with 3, and there'll be 1 bullet loaded into one of them, and then someone will like shuffle them around, and then like they'll pick their guns. So you may have one with a bullet, you may have one without a bullet.
Interesting.
I don't remember what that is. And I think there's a variation where there's 3 guns, so it's possible neither one will have a bullet.
Huh.
But I think usually it would just be 2 guns. Like the person would load one, put it in a case, and then like have each, and like they would like flip a coin or whatever to see who picks the gun first.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And that's how I thought duels were all the time as a kid, because I saw
Oh.
it in one movie. But apparently, yeah, they both get bullets.
Mhm.
in this. Because like in that one, like you would like go 10 paces and you would have like full time to aim, and it was just fire when ready.
Okay.
Yeah, like you would like aim and then they would count down and then you would fire. It would be like, spin. But I think that's more like a British thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah, because British is a lot less of. I guess back then it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't so guerrilla when it came to like
Yeah.
fighting people.
This seems more like an Americanized version of that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, proving yourself as a man by being
Mhm.
able to shoot the other person, which is so stupid. And they mention that in this, where it's like, it's a stupid way to sell your differences. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Like whatever.
The whole like everything's legal in Jersey.
Yeah, well, they like
That's fun.
always went and dueled in Jersey.
and have the doctor there with like they're not watching, so they have plausible deniability, which is so like just stupid law. Because like if a family member decided to go to court, the doctor would be like, "Oh, I didn't know what was going on. It just happened to be in the area." So dumb.
So another thing I noticed was that she like when she like burned the letters or whatever. I didn't know you were allowed to have open flames in a theater.
It's I know that it's like a big deal that they did that.
Oh, okay.
I guess like they have to have like fire safety ready. And maybe like the bucket has like water in it or something.
Okay, yeah. It didn't seem to smoke.
Yeah, but it is a live fire, and like it is impressive that they're able to do that. And I love the line that she said, where like she says like I'm burning away something along the lines of like I'm burning away anything that could have redeemed you.
Oh yeah.
Like she's getting rid of like she wants history to remember him as a cheater.
Yeah.
And if there's anything that could have made him more sympathetic that's in those letters, probably there would be.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, got nothing to make people have a better opinion of you now, which is like, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's better logic than just, I'm angry, I'm going to burn these letters. It's like, I'm going to make history forget me, and I'm going to make history hate you. Which, to a certain extent, it did.
Yeah, kind of.
I guess. Maybe. I'm sure Hamilton would be super stoked about this musical.
For sure, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Last paragraph of the recap.
Ooh.
If you can believe it. Hamilton's endorsement of Jefferson in the presidential election of 1800 results in further animosity between Hamilton and Burr, who challenges Hamilton to a duel via an exchange of letters in Your Obedient Servant. Hamilton writes his last letter in a rush, while Eliza tells him to go back to bed in Best of Wives and Best of Women, which is a weird song title.
Yeah.
Say out loud. Burr and Hamilton travel to New Jersey for the duel, which is the same spot where his son died. During the duel, both Burr and Hamilton fire at each other after 10 paces, while Hamilton intentionally missing, throwing away his shot. Thanks, IMDb. I know.
I think they'd say that in the song too.
Yeah.
That he throws away his shot.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't realize it the first time I watched it, but the second time I was like, oh, he throws away his shot. You learn something new every time you watch this. Hamilton dies as a result, with Eliza Angelica at his side. Burr laments that even though he survived, he is cursed to be remembered as the villain who killed Hamilton. Yeah, he did.
I mean,
And the world was wide enough. The musical closes with a reflection on historical memory, showing how Eliza kept Hamilton's legacy alive, and who lives, who dies, who tells your story.
Yep.
Yep. Good stuff.
Again, another appearance of ensemble doing great work. They did that like slow-mo bullet or whatever.
Oh, the slow-mo bullet is great.
Yeah.
What is that supposed to be?
What is that?
I don't know. We chose the Haunted Theater
I guess.
for Hamilton because it's spooky.
Ooh, Halloween time.
Halloween time. Halloween and Hamilton goes together. Oh, the just salt between him and Burr during the final part is so good. Where like Burr is like super optimistic about becoming president and like giddy about it, which like I wouldn't vote for him based on that alone. He's way too excited.
Oh really? I thought it was cool.
Kind of.
See him finally have like a passion, because he didn't seem to have
That is
one.
true. Yeah.
And then he like just got like dashed, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, and he's like, oh Hamilton, like you actually inspired me to go after my dreams. And then he's like, okay, I'm gonna vote for Jefferson because Jefferson actually has opinions on stuff. Like Burr doesn't believe in anything. I'm like, sick burn. Sick burn. The fact that Hamilton decided that election.
Yeah.
Ooh, so good. And of course Burr got angry, but like angry enough to do a duel is still like, I can't imagine being angry enough at someone to want to kill them in some sort of ritualistic combat. It's crazy. The fact that his son did it while he was at college, like when he was in his like 20s, is crazy. And these two grown men, and he like just doesn't tell his wife, like, oh, I've got a meeting in the morning. Like, dude, you can die.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. like the world was wide enough for both of them. Like, duh.
Yeah, but
And-
that's like that's the very clear like
And the fact that he also gets roasted by Jefferson when he's like, "Oh,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
like I'm gonna be your vice president," and it's like, "Oh, that's stupid. Oh, I'm gonna change that because I'm president."
yeah.
Which I don't know if that's good or not.
What do you mean?
Never mind. I was like, I was about to say like, I wonder if that was a good change or if it would be better if the loser still became
Oh,
vice
no, I
president
think
today.
it's a
And then
good
I just
change.
thought about the last election and I was like, maybe it's good they changed that.
Yeah,
No.
because that would kind of give more incentive to like, especially nowadays with all the violence and stuff.
Yeah.
For, like more violence towards the president because you're like, well, I want my old president back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because if the person you were rooting for loses, they still become vice president. Oh, take
Yeah.
out the president, now they're president.
Yeah.
I could see how that would cause a lot of problems.
So I guess it's a good thing it changed so quick.
Yeah. It's definitely still not a perfect system, but I think
Yeah.
that's a good change.
Mm-hmm.
And this was still before they instituted the 2-term rule.
Oh yeah.
Because it seemed like at least Hamilton had that expectation that George Washington would just keep running for
I
president.
think everybody had that expectation.
But George Washington, he intentionally didn't do that because he's like, oh, we don't want to have another King George, lol. My name is the same as his.
Isn't that part of Assassin's Creed 3?
Yeah, and
That he does come
in the DLC for Assassin's Creed 3, it's an alternate timeline where he goes crazy and becomes king, and you have to kill him. He's also got like a magic staff and stuff. But
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
Like it's Assassin's Creed. Not everything is historical because there's magic.
Right.
I know it's not magic internet, but you know what I mean. It's basically magic.
Assassin's Creed isn't magic, it's science fiction.
Explain the crap that happens in Valhalla with the druids and say that it's not magic. They freaking you're under a hallucinogenic drug. Like, no. I died by getting stabbed by clones of someone.
Oh.
No mushroom is gonna do that to me. Whatever. It's bonkers. There's magic. Oh no, yeah, that's the end of the thing.
Yeah, well, so
Telling Eliza's story at the end is good.
I didn't really like that much.
Really.
Yeah, so to me it felt like it kind of descended into like this kind of history lesson, which to me like I was like
It does drag a little bit where it's like, and then this happened, and then this happened,
yeah,
and
I
then
was
this
like,
happened.
that I don't really care for that so much. Like the Hamilton's dead, just let the play end here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It is, I think, like, I guess part of what Lynn wanted to do there was also to tell Eliza's story, because this history doesn't really, but it does come off sort of like as a checklist of this is what happened, which, like, they do the same thing with Hamilton, but they do it in a better song. Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Your Story could have been more of a song.
Yeah.
Instead of just, and then she made the first orphanage, and she also did this. She tells my story, like the Washington Monument, which, you know, she did raise funds for the Washington Monument, but it was still built by slaves, so.
Ooh, well, okay.
Glossed over that one, Lynn.
Yeah.
But it is cool. And then like the whole debate over what does her gasp at the end mean? I don't really care what it means. I think it's a fun moment. Like one of the theories, I don't remember what it really means. It might be this, but the one that I heard was that it's like the fourth wall breaking and her seeing the audience of like her seeing that her story is finally being told, which is like, oh, that's good. When I first saw it, I thought it was just like picking up at Hamilton dying and her freaking out about it, which was really depressing. But I guess it's more of like a good gasp. I don't know. It's a good moment. And then the whole cast comes out, and then they have this just bonkers rap during the end credits.
I don't remember that actually. I don't think I saw
The end credits?
Well, so I
There's
got
like
the
a
end credit sequence.
different song in the end credits.
Oh yeah, the the different version of My Shot. I think
That's what it is. Oh, interesting.
I think is what it is.
But yeah, that is
Yeah.
Hamilton.
One thing that I noticed in the credits was this. They highlighted the what's it called? The ensemble.
Yeah,
There was like pictures of the ensemble.
that's cool.
Yeah, I was like, oh look, the director actually
Cares.
recognize
Which
these smaller.
It
these
is cool.
parts.
Like you watching it, you start to pick out members of the ensemble and recognize them because it's not that large of a cast. Like a normal Broadway would have, like, you wouldn't be able to tell who the extras were. But like each one like has they basically have the same costumes, but like they all have like different haircuts and a unique look to them, which is cool. And the end credits, when watching those where it does like the portraits, is absolutely just what they did in the Hobbit end credits for the Battle of the Five Armies. It looks identical.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's a good look. Where it's like the like artistically drawn. But yeah, Elena's not here for the end, but we can go on to our final thoughts and moment of the movie. I know mine. My moment of the movie is absolutely when Philip gets shot, and the lights go off, and it like puts him in silhouette the moment he gets shot, and then he's like in this backwards pose, and it starts spinning, so it like slow-mo has him fly after getting shot. Is so cool, and the way it's shot is so beautiful. That's my moment.
My moment is the cabinet rap battle, just because I just love it.
It's good. It's good. Follow-up moment, of course, be the Mabim Bam reference with the McElroy brothers.
Oh yeah.
Which is funny. Which, I mean, it got him onto their podcast, which I guess was a dream of his, despite it being just a podcast and him being a Broadway writer. He went from like a fan of them to being so much more successful, and then like just getting on all their stuff because he asked. It's really funny. Oh, rank the film. My goodness.
Oh boy.
Oh my goodness, this is gonna be tough. Here we go. Where do we want to put it? It's gonna be high. It's gonna be high. I'm kind of thinking number 5, Between A New Hope and the Muppets.
Oh, I wanted to put way higher, but
above both Star Wars?
well, I would put it at number 1 because this is just like my favorite. But
I may. But Pirates of the Caribbean.
we can put it. Let's put it at number 5. How about that?
At number.
Just above Muppets.
Just above Muppets. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
The only reason that I would put it that low is because of how long it is.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, it kind of seemed to drag towards the end.
Yeah, it's not one like I can pick up and watch Pirates of the Caribbean or Star Wars like anytime. But Hamilton is like it's more of an investment.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that it's a worse movie. We're sort of very fast and loose with the ranking system.
Yeah.
It's great seeing Tom and Huck just keep going lower and lower. My goodness. We may be revisiting an animated show for this wheel.
Oh. Which one's this wheel?
Marvel.
Oh, yes.
But before that, we have the film information and statistics for Hamilton. It was written by Lin-Manuel Miranda and inspired by the book Alexander Hamilton by Ron Chernow. Is directed by Thomas Kail, released July 3rd, 2020. One day off from 4th of July, but
wow,
that was definitely intentional. Runtime, 2 hours and 40 minutes. Not as long as Endgame. Oh my gosh, we might get Endgame.
Oh.
That is going to have to be like a 2-parter.
Probably,
That's going to be so long.
So
IMDb score of 8.6 out of 10. 1 point lower than The Simpsons, which is 8.7.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Rotten Tomato scores, 98% critics, 90% audience. To be expected.
Yeah.
Bechdel test, pass.
Yay!
According to user Mia Hunt from the Bechtel Test website, Angelica, Eliza, and Peggy talk about the revolution during the song The Schuyler Sisters. Angelica and Eliza also talk about going away for the summer during the song Take a Break.
Yes.
But now it is time to spin the wheel. You've got more maneuverability, so you can spin the wheel. It's over there this time. This week's wheel is submitted by email by Angela
know if I
W.
can
and
reach
is
that far.
Marvel. I don't know if it's
Get underneath the couch.
I don't know if it's necessarily everything Marvel,
I don't know if
but
I
it's
can-
everything that was on the Marvel tab. So I think it's pretty much everything.
I don't know if I can reach that. I can't.
Yeah, you can.
I can't. Hold
Just
on.
reach out your arm.
Come on, Cord.
We've
There we
got
go. Really? It wasn't even.
a lot of
tied down?
animated stuff, and maybe WandaVision.
Oh my gosh! I hope not.
Dude, WandaVision is it's bonkers. It's great.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. It was weird.
Eh.
Yeet.
This will be an interesting one.
Okay, what is it?
It is the Future Avengers from 2017.
The one with the kids?
Yeah.
Oh
It's
no!
animated.
Oh my gosh! You're right.
Future
We're gonna get
Avengers.
an animated show.
Of course
I think
we're.
I own this actually.
You think you own it? I've
Yeah.
never heard of this.
It's not a good movie.
Oof. 2 seasons.
Wait, it's a
Oh
show?
my gosh, dude! It's straight up like an Avengers anime.
Oh no way! I've not seen this at all actually. Okay, there's a movie that I think is something like that, but
Oh, like the Young Avengers.
that's what it is.
Or like
Young
the Next
Avengers.
Avengers.
Yeah, whatever.
I
it's
know the
called.
one you're talking about. Oh my goodness. It's straight up they tried to make an Avengers anime. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, this looks bonkers.
Alright, this actually might be good.
The Avengers rescue a trio of children, Makoto, Adi, and Chloe, who were granted superhuman powers from a nefarious experiment by the organization Hydra. Oh my gosh. Oh my, it's just it's listed under anime.
Oh
Ah!
I didn't know they put anime on Disney Plus.
What happens if you search I put it on my watch list so I can find it again later.
Anime?
Yeah, what happens if you search anime? Okay, if you search anime, it's Future Avengers and this other show that comes up called Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What the heck?
That doesn't look like an anime though. That just looks like
That's just animation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Future Avengers, however,
That's
absolutely is
Yeah.
anime. So look forward to that, everybody. How long are the episodes? They're 24 minutes long.
Okay.
We still feel good about 3 episodes?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
That's about an hour, right?
Yeah.
24 for each is about an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This is a big this is gonna be a big sigh episode, I feel like. It's one of those where we're gonna talk about it and then several times the episode just be like
Yeah.
okay. Time to decide the new wheel.
Okay.
We have a new
getting up.
a new submission to the wheel list, which is Mystery by Super Pants. So we have that to choose from if we want to. This is what we currently have. I'm kind of thinking, we don't know how long this is going to stay on the main page, but I'm kind of thinking the Celebrate Black Stories collection.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's one that's not always going to be on the main page. We
Alright,
might
yeah.
as well get that one done
Uh-huh.
before they get rid of it. And because it's got a lot of movies that I've never seen before. And it's got Soul, which is new.
Oh, all right.
And SEO is going to like that if we watch it. Let me see what's it got on it. If it is still... if it's still on there.
Oh man.
If it's already... Okay, it is. Let's see. We got Soul, Hidden Figures, Black is King, Black Panther, Safety, Princess and the Frog, Remember the Titans. Oh my gosh, A Wrinkle in Time. That movie's so weird.
Wait, which one? The old one or the new one?
New one. Lion King, Red Toes, Sister Act. We can get Sister Act 1.
No.
Kazam.
I am seeing Sister Act in my YouTube somehow. It thinks I like
Twitches?
it.
Twitches.
And
So
it's
yeah.
like my personal. It's not the one I used to watch. It was just my personal like Google account. Somehow it found out that I watched the show. It's like, you like Sister Act. Oh no.
I love how great we got inspired by true stories, and the second thing on there is Greatest Showman, which I'm like, barely. Yeah, that's right. We're not doing Greatest Showman forever. So yeah, we're Mary submitted that, the Celebrate Black Stories collection. That is what we're going to be on next. And that's all for the episode. Thank you all so much for listening or watching. I guess yeah, if you want to watch us instead of listen to us, we are on YouTube. If you want to listen instead of watch, we are on every podcatcher.
Is that what they're called? Podcatchers?
Yeah, that's what they're called, podcatchers.
That's
It's
dumb.
such a dumb name.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, if you like the show, please review us. Give us a 5-star review on iTunes or whatever podcast service you listen to, and share this episode with your friends who like Hamilton.
Yes.
I always love episodes that we do where we all like collectively liked the thing, because it's a fun episode. Which
so much more positive.
it's so much more positive. Like it like the other, like when it's like a movie that's like so bad it's good, like Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire, where we all collectively think it's dumb as hell, or like My Dog the Thief. Those are also fun, but my favorite ones are ones where we all like the movie. Which I don't know if that's more interesting to listen to people just praise a movie for an hour and a half, but whatever. You can send your reviews or comments to WhereStreamsComeTrue@gmail.com. You can tell that our numbers are getting better because I keep getting spam emails from different podcast networks that are like, here's some stuff to grow your podcast. So like they know that the email is associated with a podcast. So
nice.
it's a good sign.
Yeah.
It's annoying as hell, but it's a good sign. We are also on Twitter at Studio76WSCT. You can submit a wheel, such as a category or a search term on Disney Plus. Like we've got both of those. We've got specific stuff like the High School Musical collection, or just a search term like mystery, which only has four things, and one of them is WandaVision, which I know what you're doing. You want us to watch WandaVision, and I'm watching it week to week now, and it is fantastic. You can send your reviews on the show. We can read your reviews on the show. You can submit a recording on anchor.fm/WhereStreamsComeTrue. As I've always said, I've never seen any podcast utilize that feature, but it's a thing that's there if you want to use it. So it's like a
Please use
voicemail.
it.
I've seen there's a podcast I listen to that does voicemails, but I have no idea how that would be set up. So it's basically that sort of thing. So yeah, your duties as listeners is to watch future Avengers. I'm so excited. It's another dumb Marvel show.
Yeah.
It's obscure enough.
Maybe they'll have a weird intro song like they did with Hulk.
Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Yes, I hope we get more Hulk at some point.
Oh my gosh, that'd be
It'll
so
be good.
good.
And that was all for the episode. Thank you all for watching. Bye.
Bye.
No.